I'm Denise Dryden. I'm out here on Bainbridge Island. The tide is out, and I think we're going to be able to see the ferry come by, which is why I'm sitting here. Got all the kayaks and whatnot. The tide is way out, and last night, we had probably one of the most horrific, wonderful storms with thunder and lightning and wind blowing and rain, and it was wonderful. So I'm sitting out here, and nobody wants to come out on the beach today because it's still kind of a little chilly and wet. So here I am. I want to talk about the process of stabilizing. Not just sort of how we stabilize, but sort of that there's this entire process that happens, right? That helps us do what we need to do in order to stabilize. So process, of course, I'm always going to start to make sure you and I have a working operational definition of processing, or of whatever word I'm going to use. So to process is a series of actions or steps taken to achieve a particular end or a result. So it's a series of actions or steps. Number two, it's a series of changes that occur naturally, like the growth process, the developmental stages. Three, a set of recurrent or periodic activities that interact and produce a result. So they interact. So it's both action and steps taken, it's change, and it is periodic, and it produces a result by its interaction all together, right? So when we're talking about stabilizing, I've spent so many different videos talking about what does it mean to be stable, to hold our center, and to be able to ground in. What I wanted to do today is talk about how to recognize this as being like a really natural process, something that happens really easily and naturally, right? So as we enter September and we're sort of winding down the summer and we dig into the school starts or the school starts and stops, and we start closing down our gardens and our yards, and we start thinking about, wow, that was a great summer and it's getting a little chillier at night, we know that we're starting to do something different. I don't want to go there yet. We have months to go there into sort of the preparation of winter. But what I want to do is say, change is coming. We have to sort of readapt after the freedom of the summer, and we have to start getting into that structure system, especially if you're a parent of children at home, or sort of the way business just sort of stops for a little bit in July and August while everybody's on vacation, and it's almost as if the day after Labor Day, everybody starts working on deadlines and start upping the schedule to catch up. So when we're feeling this, there's also this tremendous turmoil that's going on in our country. I'm here in the U.S., and what I notice is that we've got some interesting political issues. Now, we're not the only country with interesting political issues, right? We've had a tropical storm that hit the whole East Coast, Florida, Carolinas. We have protests going on globally. There's power struggles in leadership all over the world. We've got school starts and stops, as I said earlier. What do you do when the kid puts on the brakes the first week of school and says, no, I'm not doing this? And they already start letting you know that this isn't going to work. We've got lots of drama, lots of complications. We've got tighter schedules, and we feel personal pressures. Some of them are known and some of them are unknown. Some of those things kind of come out of the blue, and other ones were I just have to hunker down because September is going to be grueling. So my question is how are you doing? Really, how are you doing with all of this? Are you staying anchored? Are you staying strong? Are you wobbling a bit? Or are you just a mess? Because right now with the astrological stuff going on, I have more clients calling and saying, I need something different because what I've been doing used to work and it's not working anymore. So as our outer world continues to provide a lot of drama and challenges, we are left sort of, how do we focus on what our ability is to develop our own process so that we can take this on? So the process. So whenever you recognize that you're wobbling, right? Oh no, this is not working the way I wanted it to. I'm in reaction, right? I might be reacting to when they do that, then wow, this is what happens. Or fear. I'm in profound fear that I just moved my kid to a brand new school and already I have to spy. I have to get on and look at their grades. I have to talk to their teachers and make sure they're okay. Denial. No, nah, la. I'm not going to look there. If I don't see it, I don't have to deal with it. And there's also this pushing away and stalling that goes with denial. I'm going to deal with it in October. I'm just going to let September go for right now. Or are you in an old pattern of control? Sort of control, which is, I don't know what this is. There goes the fairy right over there behind me. This is so cool. I'm in denial. I'm in control. I'm trying to control. I'm yelling. I'm powering up. I'm spying. I'm micromanaging. And, this is just, we're shifting into anxiety. We might have some depression, which is just never going to get better. And we're self-medicating in all sorts of forms. So whenever you recognize that you're wobbly, like I'm not stable the way that I want to be, the process is really, really beautiful when we understand that there's a process for how to deal with this, right? So we assess and we collect information. If that's it, we just assess. Assess isn't, I put my opinion in there. Assess isn't that I gather only the facts that I want to. Assess is that we do a really nice overall concept report of what's going on. I'm going to gather information. So first and foremost, when we are in our assessing mood, the first thing we do is self-compassion, which is, oh, yeah, I'm wobbling. I'm really wobbling. And I'm trying to get control. I'm yelling. I'm doing things that are not like me. This isn't my best self. And this isn't good, and this isn't bad, or this isn't right or wrong. You just notice, here I am. I'm wobbling, and I've noticed that I'm starting to sort of reach out and control the outer world, right? So number 2, first thing is to just do that self-compassion, which is, this is where I'm at, and not make it right or wrong. The second thing is, am I outwardly directed? Am I scanning for whose fault it is? Who can I blame? If they would only, then this would get better. We've talked about this. So I'm on the outside of myself, and I'm focusing on what others are doing. What others, whether it's, if the school would just do this, if my boss would just do this, if my lover would just do this, then life would be so much easier. If my kids would just get up on time and make their lunch, right? then everything would get better. So what we have is we have all these responsibilities and all of these outer commitments that sometimes they rock and they roll and they don't feel good and they're not doing what we want them to do. So how can I get stable if the outside world is wobbling around? So the first is self-compassion, recognizing I'm wobbling. The second is, am I outer directed? Am I putting all of my emphasis on what's going on outside of me? And can I take an honest look at this? And again, this isn't right or wrong or good or bad. This is just like, oh yeah. As soon as I get freaked out inside, I start going out. So just recognize, am I out? Am I out looking at where I can point the finger? Third thing, self-compassion, outer driven. The third thing is go inside. Drop everything, just go inside. How do I feel? How does my body feel? Am I tired? Am I hungry? Am I agitated? Where do I feel this in my body? How long do you think this has been going on? This is not new. This might have been, oh man, this has been going on for the whole last couple weeks. Is it connected to other things? Am I sick? Do I have, joint pain? What's going on? Did it accelerate? Is it decelerating? What's going on? So we look inside. And again, we don't look inside and go, oh, you dummy, this is what started to happen again. We just go, oh, yeah, I'm starting to notice that there's different things. I'm having headaches. My hands are hurting. I'm having a hard time getting out of bed because I'm not sleeping at night. These are examples that my clients are saying over and over and over again. Number 4. So first one is self-compassion. Second one is external. Third one is internal. And fourth is, oh shoot, are my old triggers up? All my old patterns of what happens in the past. When you say this, then I do that. It can be an old action and reaction pattern where, kid sasses you back and you think, you go right straight into an old behavior. where you feel out of control and you try to control things when I don't know what's going on. I need to sort of organize it and make everything, dot all the I's and cross all the T's and put the color-coded schedule up on the refrigerator. These are things that I need to do in order to control. What do I do when I get agitated? When someone pisses me off? I do things reactively. I slap back. I overcompensate. I spend money. Get into what is my trigger that's going on. Oh, I'm doing triggers. When that happens, I do this. When that happens, I do this. And so you get into sort of that cause and effect, right? We all have them. And again, it's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just like, dang, that trigger's back up again. It's the thing that I always do when something doesn't go right. So after you assess, and there's one that wasn't on the list, but I thought about it on the way over to this beach, which is, what's going on out there? Number 5, what's going on out there that I can't see, is not in my realm of normality? And you might do things like start reading astrology, start talking to people who work in the energetic fields, and they're going to go like, oh yeah, by the way, this last new moon, August 15th, full moon August 15th and new moon, did something really interesting start to sort of tap you on the shoulder? Find out what that is. So that's the blind, unseen, what the heck is going on out there curiosity. So you assess. Again, not right or wrong, just assess it and start putting together. Oh yeah, I'm not taking care of myself. This is where I'm putting it outside. This is where I'm seeing it inside. These are my triggers that are up, and no wonder, because the moon and Jupiter and this whole new moon thing was a little powerful for most of us. Okay, so after you assess and you want to know what to do to bring it all back into stability, you just sort of go, what do I have to do? Now that I have assessed these things, what do I need to do? You don't beat yourself up and you don't judge yourself. You go inward and you do what you can do. You let people know what you're doing. Hey, by the way, I just figured out that there's something going on with me, and I'm going to take some time and figure that out. So if you want, we can talk about it tonight, or we can talk about it this weekend, but I've got some work to do. And you gather yourself up and you really ride this thing. You go, okay, so something tipped, and it started me in this trajectory of old patterns, looking outside of myself, forgetting about myself, blaming other people, and you go, oh, yeah. So you normalize it. You normalize it and go like, life's going to go like this sometimes, and then life is going to go like this. And when it's like this is what I need to be aware of. It's not my fault. I didn't do something wrong. I'm just in reaction. So you normalize it and you expect it. And so we build these processes of what to do when we need to stabilize. So it isn't that stable is good and unstable is bad. It's like we're gonna go, oh, look at this, I'm so strong today, and then 2 hours later, wonga, and you're thinking, okay, what just happened? Was it a trigger? Was it something from the outside? Was it something from the inside? Is it something that I can't see? And you assess it and you apply your tools. So we always talk about tools here, and you can go through all of my previous videos. I've been talking for 3 years now. I have 161 videos that you can go look at, all by the different titles. Number 1, best tool ever is you normalize your breath. You bring your focus into your inhalations and your exhalations, your solar plexus, and how your solar plexus fan out and fan in. Fan out and fan in. You count your breaths and you bring your breath into normal. You bring your breath into something that's normal for you. You bring your breath into presence. And so when I went to Alan Seal's workshops, after all of us had been doing this for so long, we'd start an exercise, and all I had to do was, come on, get present. And we had to go, boom, and bring it in with our breath. So I'm saying, use your breath, get present. Number 2, ground. Ground. Everyone talks about grounding, and what we forget is we don't want to go up and go, if I could just connect up here. What we want to do is we want to go, I need to put my feet on the ground. Are my feet on the ground? Am I connected? Did I drop that anchor? And how's that anchor doing? Is it anchor secure? Is it strong enough to endure this? Because I need to be planted firmly with my feet on the ground. Like a sailboat in the water when this wind is blowing. Number 3, expand and observe. Once you've got your breath in line, once you're grounded, then you sort of open up and you go, what is it that I'm really seeing? What is it that I'm really noticing? Because my guess is that we're all really observant and we're intelligent and we gather information really well. So now, what is it that I am observing? Oh yeah, I haven't eaten a solid meal in 4 days, and I am eating junk and I don't get along, and it puts me into this sort of hangry place, and then I go into my old patterns, and then I start, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. So you just scan, or you pick up, oh, what's going on? There's something here that's different. This is different than what I've seen before. I wonder what that is. Number 4, self-care, self-compassion. This is what I know how to do to myself when I am out of balance. The first thing, drink water. Second thing, take magnesium. Third thing, make sure that I rest and integrate. Fourth, get my feet on the ground so that I can expand and observe and know what's going on. And do it with so much self-compassion, which is, And then, you can do things like hold on to a carnelian, which is self-compassion. You can hold on to a Shiva, which is like get my feet on the ground as fast as possible, right? These are things that just, if you know what to do, you use your tools. The 5th one is get curious. I wonder what else I'm seeing. What else am I noticing? What are some of the patterns here? What am I feeling? What's new and different? And so this is how we do the process of stabilizing. Is that it isn't that stable is good and unstable is bad. It's what do we do when we realize that we're not as stable as we want to be, and how do we use very specific targeted tools and processes to bring us back into balance. That's all. Normalize it. We're going to wobble. When we wobble, how do we come back up? Don't plan on staying there for the next day or hour. Just go, and so here I am. And then I start to tip again. And what do I do to bring myself back to balance? So this is what I do. I'm out on the island. You can come out and spend a day in an intensive with me. You can do work over Zoom, no matter what part of the world you're in. But if this is something that works for you and you want more, give me a call. Drop me a note. Go on my website and say, love this stuff. Okay? Have a great September week, and get out there. Get outside while there's still sunshine and warmth, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.